There's an expectation, just when you're talking about the multifaceted approach to dealing with China, there's an expectation the Prime Minister will be visiting Beijing within the next few months. We saw the French leader Macron there in the last couple of days. So China reaching out on the one hand while showing force with the other. It's quite an interesting double act right now.
It sure is, Kieran. It is quite the double act. But look, there are lots of countries out there who are buying in it. It's very interesting to see the kind of words that Emmanuel Macron was using about wanting to differentiate France from the United States. And I'm thinking, hang on, that's not the kind of rhetoric de Gaulle was using in the 1940s when he was seeking American support for the saving of France from, Nazi Germany. It is, I think, there's an interesting kind of set of double standards at play here where people want to do business with China. And of course, France has invested. It's got a lot of business in China. The Germans do too. Lots of countries do. We don't want that to stop, but we need to be realistic about how we're being played by China. And the threats, the cajoling, the intimidation, it's all part of the mix.
Professor Blaxland, I want to play you a comment the Prime Minister made on our program yesterday, on the Sunday Agenda program. I asked him about the prospect of another, effectively Donald Trump making a successful run to the White House again, and implications for our AUKUS deal between Australia, the US and the UK. Have a look at what Mr Albanese said in response. Does this worry you about the future of our AUKUS deal when you see the prospect of a possible Trump return?
No, look, our relationship with the United States is a relationship between nations, between peoples, not just between leaders. And Australia and the United States share common values. I work very closely with President Biden.
The Prime Minister understandably playing a straight bat, but those within the government would be watching developments there very closely as they round into 2024.
Yeah, no, that's right, Kieran. They would be, but let's be realistic about this. When President Trump was in office, he was actually a pretty strong supporter of the US alliance. He was one of the few countries that he didn't criticise was Australia. That's in part because of the strong trading relationship and the advantage the United States has, but also he has an appreciation of the geostrategic utility of Australia. And so, it's easy to lambast Donald Trump for his, the kind of cack-handed behaviour, it appears, on a range of issues. But I think Australians are right to be fairly sanguine about the prospect of a Republican president coming back and being fairly realistic about the utility of Australia as a critical alliance partner for the United States' interests. And even, let's hit the other side of the equation, even if the United States does become more isolationist, the point is that we actually need American technology more than ever. This actually, I think, bolsters the rationale for AUKUS. Ironically enough, AUKUS becomes more important, not less. American technology gives us the edge. We don't have quantity, we need quality, and that's critical to the way we're going to go forward into the future.
Professor John Blaxland from the ANU, thanks as always.
Good to be with you, Kieran.